Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. As promised, here is the trade deadline breakdown episode. I have some help here. You won't see him much, but my brother Jeremiah over here.
Hey guys.
He's going to be reading all the trades, and as he reads them out, I will give a short summary of what I think of them. Okay, here we go.
First up, Clippers trade Tucker to Jazz. Clippers receive Drew Eubanks, Patty Mills. Jazz receive Mo Bamba, PJ Tucker, and a 2030 second round pick and cash considerations.
So this trade for the Jazz, they got off of both contracts. They got away from PJ Tucker. They let go Mo Bamba. For the Clippers, I like the Drew Eubanks pickup and only giving like a cash and a second round draft pick for him. I don't think that's bad. I think it's a lot better deal for the Clippers. For the Jazz, it's what they want to do. They want to get off of salary and get keep their rebuild going with draft picks and extra cash, and they got that. So pretty good trade for both.
Next, you have Luka Davis trade. Lakers receive Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. Mavs receive Anthony Davis, Max Christie, 2029 first-round pick. Jazz receive Jalen Hood, Schifino, 25 second-round pick, 25 second-round pick via Clippers.
And again, for the Jazz, they really didn't give up anything except for $110K. That's it. And they got draft pick and a former lottery player. Not bad trade for them. But we all know it's a great trade for the Lakers, especially for their future. They have a shot to compete with Luka and LeBron this year because you don't want to play either one of those men in the playoffs. And then for Dallas, they have a chance. I think they have a window, a 3 to 4 year window with Kyrie and Davis as the best players. But unfortunately, I think after that time, it kind of goes away. But I think it's a good trade for both Dallas and LA in the now, and the Lakers especially in the future.
Now we have Spurs acquire Fox from Kings. Spurs receive De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. Kings receive him as a crybaby here. Zach LaVine, City Kosciuszko, a 25 first-round pick from the Hornets, 27 first-round pick from the Spurs, 31 first-round pick from the Wolves, a 25 second-round pick from the Bulls, 28 second-round pick Nuggets, 28 second-round pick Bulls, and the Bulls receive Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and a 25 first-round pick from the Spurs.
Which, funny enough, that pick that the Bulls got was the Bulls draft pick that was in a trade. So they received their own draft pick back. So, of course, you got younger players for Zach LaVine. Unfortunately for them, you did get off of Vucevic's contract at the trade deadline, but you get start the rebuild and you have your draft pick back. So when you start losing, because they probably won't be mid anymore like they've been, you get your own pick. So that's good for them. We all know the Spurs won this trade, though. De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama for the next who knows how long, but it's going to be a blast to watch. We saw a little example of that when De'Aaron Fox put up 24 in his debut game. So great trade for the Spurs. For the Kings, I don't get it because you've been mid. And the Bulls, when they had DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine together, were a mid team. And they probably will be under mid in the Western Conference because they were mid in the East. So I don't get the trade at all for the Kings. I think you should have just started your rebuild and not got Zach LaVine at all because now you have what is known as a bad contract. And I don't think it's a bad contract. I just think he would be better on a team where he could help them win. I don't see him, Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan winning many games out west. So the Spurs win this trade, in my opinion.
Next, we have Mavs land Caleb Martin. Mavs receive Caleb Martin. The Sixers receive Quentin Grimes and a 25 second-round pick.
Not necessarily a trade I think the Mavericks needed to do. I would have preferably kept Quentin Grimes because you have longer length guys. Even in your starting lineup, it's longer length guys. I think it would have been fine to keep some guards, but they got another bigger wing. And Caleb Martin's good. He was a big piece when the Heat went to the NBA Finals a few years back. But I think he would have been fine keeping Quentin Grimes. I like this pick right now, this trade right now better for the Sixers, because I think Quentin Grimes will take some of the ball handling pressure off of Tyrese Maxey when they've lost a lot of players due to injury. So I think it's a better pickup for the Sixers in the time being.
And we have the Thunder and Pelicans. The Thunder received Daniel Theis and a 2031 second-round pick. Pelicans received cash considerations.
So this trade was pretty much for that second-round pick because the Thunder received Theis and they ended up letting him go. So they just got that second-round pick for cash considerations. It's not much here. Maybe the Thunder would have not been bad to keep a big backup because they've had so many injuries to their starting bigs, Hawkenstein, Holmgren this year. But they decided they didn't want him and maybe they'll look for someone in the buyout market. But they cleared up a roster spot, but it was pretty much for that second-round pick.
Then the Kings acquire Valanciunas. Kings receive Jonas Valanciunas. Wizards receive Sidi Kosciuszko and 2 future second-round picks.
This was just Washington getting off of Valanciunas' contract, which I said when they signed him that midseason they would trade him at the trade deadline. They did. I don't think he'll make much of a difference for the Kings. It does get to move Sabonis to the 4, I would believe, as long as you start Valanciunas. But besides that, like I mentioned earlier, I still think the Kings are just middle to lower out west, so I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Celtics trade Springer to Rockets. Celtics receive a 2031 second-round pick. The Rockets receive Jaden Springer, a 27 second-round pick, and a 2030 second-round pick.
So the Celtics just cleared up a roster spot that they would later sign Torrey Craig to. I like it because Springer don't get minutes. Torrey Craig could very well fight his way into the rotation. A pretty good 3-and-D guy. Chicago liked him, but Chicago's not going to win, as I mentioned earlier, so they did him a solid and let him go. Celtics made smart move by moving on from Springer and getting Craig, in my opinion.
Wizards get Reggie Jackson. Wizards receive Reggie Jackson, 26 first-round pick. Sixers receive Jared Butler, 27 second-round pick, 28 second-round pick, 2 second-round picks in 2030.
This is just a little bit of a move. Again, mostly for the picks. Reggie Jackson ended up getting let go. Probably have not hurt Washington to keep him because they need some vets on there. But we'll see as we go on. Washington got some veterans. So, again, just a draft pick move.
Then the Hawks deal Zeller to Rockets. Rockets receive Cody Zeller, 28 second-round pick. And the Hawks receive draft rights to Alpha Kaba.
So interesting, not to draft pick. I don't know if the Rockets will keep Zeller, but Zeller, I don't believe he's played but maybe 1 or 2 games for the Hawks. He's been at Porcino, so I'm not sure what Porcino means, but Atlanta got away from his contract and just got draft rights, and the guy may or may not stay in Europe, so not a bad move. Clear up a roster spot for Atlanta.
Then Pacers receive James Wiseman in cash considerations. Raptors receive James Wiseman in cash considerations, and the Pacers receive a 26 second-round pick.
So again, just for draft picks, Raptors got him. He's all the way out for the year. They just bought him out and let him go. And Wiseman's not going to sign anywhere because he tore his Achilles the first game of the season. So he'll just stay a free agent. It's not a just draft pick move.
And then the Pistons land Martin. Pistons receive KJ Martin, 27 second-round pick via Bucks, a 2031 second-round pick via Mavs, and the Sixers receive cash considerations.
I actually like this pickup for Detroit. I think KJ Martin's good. I just don't think he gets a lot of playing time. I think he'll work his way into Detroit's rotation. I like this for Detroit. Get some extra players, some guys that will come out, hustle, and play hard. I like that move.
Suns deal Norkett to Hornets. Hornets receive Jusuf Norkett in the 26th first-round pick. Suns receive Cody Martin, Vasil Masik in the 26th second-round pick.
This was done to get off of Norkick's contract for Phoenix. His contract's non-guaranteed next season, but if they released him, they would go in the penalty deeper. So they didn't want to do that. So what happened was they just traded him to Charlotte. Well, Charlotte will maybe use him for the rest of the year or buy him out and let this contract expire. But Norkick had worked his way out of the Phoenix lineup. He hadn't played a game since like January 6th for the Suns. And from what they were saying, he was causing some locker room issues. So for a team that's not playing that well anyway and struggling with their big three, good move to get away from a locker room problem.
Next, Pistons acquire Schroeder. The Pistons receive Dennis Schroeder, Lindy Waters IV in a future second-round pick via Warriors. Jazz receive KJ Martin and future second-round pick.
So KJ Martin was on the move again. Well, he can most definitely work his way into the lineup for Utah, probably easier than Detroit. And nice pickup for Detroit, a veteran backup point guard. Maybe he can help teach Cade Cunningham to kind of lower those turnovers. He needs a veteran point guard to learn from, so I like that move.
Raptors land Tucker from Heat. Raptors receive PJ Tucker, a 26th second-round pick, and cash considerations. Heat receive Davion Mitchell.
I like that move. I'm not sure if Tucker was on the move again. We'll see as we go on. But Davion Mitchell, really good point guard, defensive point guard at that. He's been tasked with guarding some of the better guards in the league, and he does a pretty good job at it. I think if he gets more playing time, he can really grow into a good player. I like that move for the Heat.
Next, Bucks get Porter Jr. Bucks receive Kevin Porter Jr. Clippers receive Marjan Boo Camp.
It does help the Bucks get younger and more athletic, but I don't know how much Porter Jr. will actually play. And they're searching for defense because their defense is bad. Porter Jr. is not a good defender. I hope it works out, but at that same point, I don't really see him registering a ton of minutes, especially when his strength is ball handling. And so is Giannis's strength, and so is Damian Lillard's strength ball handling. So if he plays, he may be playing in a lineup or a game where neither one of them to play or one of them miss. I don't see him getting much playing time when fully healthy.
Hawks get Bogan. No, trade Bogan. Clippers get Bogdanovich. The Hawks get Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, 25, 26, and 27 second-round picks.
I love this move for the Clippers. Adding another shooter. They struggle shooting some games. Not a lot of rotational players have been playing well for the Clippers as of late, and they've struggled. So I love that move for them. As for the Hawks, talk about later on because they made another trade. I don't really get what the Hawks are trying to do because they're building a team that's mid. Well, I talked about with the Kings and Bulls earlier. Hawks are building that team, and you kept Trae Young past the trade deadline, which gives you a shot to win games, and you got multiple point guards at the deadline when Trae Young is a point guard. I'm really not 100% sure what Atlanta's doing, but if they were going to blow things up, they should have got rid of Trae and just tried to get draft picks for him, in my opinion.
Bucks trade for Kuzma, 4-team trade. The Bucks receive Kyle Kuzma, Jericho Sims, a 25 and 26 second-round pick. Wizards receive Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, a 2028 first-round pick swap. Knicks receive Dion White, draft rights to Hugo Besson, and cash considerations. Spurs receive Patrick Baldwin Jr. and cash considerations.
So Spurs were just kind of in a tail end. Didn't really get much, didn't really give much. I do like DeLon White pickup for the Knicks, but I thought they needed a big, not a guard. But DeLon White's a very good, capable player of playing good minutes on any team, and he doesn't turn the ball over much. I like him. As for the Wizards, I love picking up a veteran like Chris Middleton, and they said they're going to keep him, no buyout. You need a guy to straighten out your locker room. It starts with the players. The coach can keep talking and talking, but if the guys in the locker room aren't listening, then it's never going to change. Chris Middleton will start the change, and he'll start building a different culture in Washington, so I like that move. As for the Bucks, I don't think they got tremendously better with that trade, a little bit. But we have to see how good is Kuzma at defending. We know he can shoot, but is he going to take this serious? And is he going to defend and not take it as a joke? Some things that's been around him is he's a little cocky and he doesn't take the game as serious as he should. Is he going to take this serious? Is he going to show up and want to play? Or is he going to be the guy that's still cocky and thinks he's the best player on the team instead of taking his role as the forward man? It'll be interesting to see that.
Lakers acquire Williams from Hornets. Lakers receive Mark Williams. Hornets receive Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, a 2031 unprotected first-round pick, and a 2030 pick swap.
I like this trade for both sides. I like they got a first-round pick. Cam Reddish may or may not play. He may be bought out. We don't know. But Dalton Connect, he is a really good young player, rookie. He's been playing very good for the Lakers, shooting really well. So I like that he gets a start to probably get more minutes and more time. And he'll be able to make more mistakes in Charlotte than he was in LA without getting pulled. And for the Lakers, they got their big. Anthony Davis had been wanting a big. They didn't pull the trigger. Luka comes in one night, meets with the general manager and says, I want a lob threat. And the very next day, they pull the trigger and get them a young lob threat that's really good. He needs work on his defense, but the Hornets' defense was not good, so we can't really say he can't defend. As for Mark Williams, the biggest thing is staying healthy. He's had some injury history, but if he stays healthy, I think he'll have a better career in LA than Charlotte.
Cavs trade for Hunter. Cavs receive DeAndre Hunter. The Hawks receive Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks, and 2 pick swaps.
So again, going back to the Hawks. As for the Hawks part of this, I like the Karis LeVert part. You need someone that can handle the ball and play and make besides Trae Young. He can do that. He gets more of a shot to do that in Atlanta than he did Cleveland because there's not so many ball handlers and they don't take as many threes as Cleveland. So he gets to play his game a little bit more there. So I like that. George Niang, he'll be able to catch and shoot off of Trae Young passes. Not bad. Couple draft picks, pretty good. The problem is you're still mid. If you're Atlanta and you lost your second highest scorer in DeAndre Hunter. As for the Cavs, I think there's a chance that he's the missing piece they've been needing. And he's going to be a really, really good, averaging 19 points a game, shooting 39% from 3. He's a really good number 3 in the lineup, as in 1 Garland, 2 Mitchell, 3 Hunter, 4 Mobley, 5 Allen. There's a chance Cleveland has the best starting lineup in the NBA, but we'll see.
Warriors acquire Jimmy Butler. This is a big trade. The Warriors receive Jimmy Butler, 2 second-round picks from the Heat, cash considerations from the Heat. The Heat receive Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell, a 25 protected first-round pick via Warriors. Jazz receive Josh Richardson, KJ Martin, 28 second-round pick from the Pistons, a 2031 second-round pick from the Heat, cash considerations from the Heat. Pistons receive Lindy Waters with Ford, Dennis Schroeder, and a 2031 second-round pick from Warriors. Raptors receive PJ Tucker, 26 second-round pick from the Heat, and cash considerations from the Heat.
So we spoke on some of this a little bit ago, so I'm going to get down to for this is Andrew Wiggins in Miami. I hope he competes. I hope they bring the best out of him. They get him in shape and keep him focused, because that's been a problem. Sometimes he's really good, sometimes he's not, but it's staying focused on basketball. So hopefully they keep him in shape and they keep him focused, and maybe he gets back to that really good Minnesota Wiggins, and I hope that for Miami and Wiggins himself. As for the Warriors, it does make them better, but how much better? Jimmy Butler is really a better scorer than Draymond Green. He's not going to replace Klay Thompson's shooting or scoring ability. Not even close. And he will be able to hit shots down the stretch, which Golden State struggled closing teams out. But I still think at best you're a play-in exit or a first-round exit out in the Western Conference with this roster, and you're paying Jimmy Butler $60 million a year now. So I'm not sure about that, but we'll see how it works. It'll be interesting to see.
Raptors land Ingram. Raptors receive Brandon Ingram. Pelicans receive Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick and a second-round pick.
So I love this for the Raptors. You got big, longer players. He goes with an already pretty sizable lineup. And when Ingram is the guy, which he has an opportunity to be, it'll be him or Barnes in Toronto, he plays a lot better than when he's the 2 or the 3. So I'm interested to see how he plays for Toronto. For the Pelicans, you didn't really got Olynyk. He may or may not see a lot of minutes. Brown has missed a lot of time from injury, so I don't know how much time he'll see. And unfortunately for New Orleans, they've missed too many players due to injury that they're so far out of making anything in the West that may be best, no matter who's on your roster, to just let it go and come back next season with a pretty good draft pick. So we'll see. But I love this for the Raptors and Ingram. Fresh start for Ingram.
Wizards acquire Smart. Wizards receive Marcus Smart, Kobe Jones, Alex Len, and a 25 first-round pick from the Grizzlies. Grizzlies receive 2 second-round picks, Marvin Bagley IV, Johnny Davis, and the Kings receive Jake LaRavia.
So I like this for the Kings. They pretty much just came in, gave up a couple players that don't really see time, and they got a shooter. Lavia's been shooting lights out as of late, so I love that for them. They really didn't do much, but they just got a shooter. Good pickup for them. For the Wizards, really good for the locker room, much like Middleton. Marcus Smart is a very smart, very good, strict player. He's not going to let a lot of the shenanigans that we're on in the Wizards locker room happen. So I love that for Washington. Grizzlies just sent players out and didn't get anything in return. It was a very sad trade deadline day for the Memphis Grizzlies, especially when you're in that forward spot in the West. They went hard for Kevin Durant, missed, and they didn't land anything, and they lost players. So not a good trade deadline day for the Grizzlies, but pretty good day for the Washington Wizards, if you ask me. It's starting the comeback for their franchise, and I hope they have a good comeback.
That was the last one.
I want to thank Jeremiah for joining me. I appreciate it. There's the guy that was reading off all the trades.
Anytime.
You did a great job, and thank you all for joining me. I'll see you Monday.